Great time. And hopefully next
and maybe even some of us older owners is. But I'm back.
MIZZAH, it's the show about Mizzah Tee. It's the show about Mizzah Tee. FOOS. Time for throwback, FOOS. Hey there, FOOS. It's Mizzah Tee. And in this video, we're gonna have some fun with a game, a blast from the past. And that game is Street Fighter, the movie, the game. So let's go. That lovely Sega Saturn startup logo. I'm going to be skipping through a little bit because, you know, Sega Saturn, all those old consoles have really long load times. You can see this is my action replay booting up here. Let's go ahead and skip a little bit further along. I had forgotten this, but Acclaim was actually the developer in this game and not Capcom. Capcom was the publisher, but not the developer on Street Fighter, the movie, the game. So let's go ahead and watch this opening quote unquote cinematic. Yeah, that's what you call full motion video, FOOS. Look how gorgeous that is. FMV from 1995. I think this came out in 95, maybe 96. No, I think it was 95 because the movie came out in 94. And I'm sure the game most likely came out in 95. I have to check to make sure on that. So yeah, this is obviously clips from the game. There he is, Van Damme himself. Cammy. The Hawaiian E Honda, not Japanese. Zangief. Oh God, Ken. Chun-Li. I thought was great casting, great character. Balrog wasn't too bad. And the late great Raul Julia as M. Bison. Street Fighter, the movie, the game. Now loading. Alright, so I just started off in story mode. And in story mode, you get these kind of still clips with, you know, basically somewhat elements from the story mode of the game. Or the game. Story mode of the, or story in the movie. But a little different to fit the game. And for whatever reason, I guess story mode forces you to play as Guile, which I was never good at, as you'll see here. Guile was not one of my mains when I play Street Fighter. So I'm gonna get handled, as you see. I'm only going to show a couple of fights with Guile. Actually, I'm going to scrub along to... Okay, so even when you lose, apparently in story mode, the game still progresses. I'm sure if you lose a certain amount of times, it'll end eventually, but I don't know, maybe you were not supposed to beat Bison. And here you have Cammy on the digital intercom system here, or the Allied Nations, and it is horrible because all they're doing is, like, you know, just playing her back and forth to make her head move. And here's a nice still photo of the actor playing Balrog. Apparently he's shooting something and then he challenges Guile to a fight. So like I said, stuff from the movie, but obviously not from the movie, put together to make the game, quote unquote, make sense. But it don't, fools. It don't make no damn sense. It don't make no damn sense. And I guess I haven't even mentioned this yet, but the the funny thing about obviously Street Fighter, the movie, the game, is they went with the photo, kind of the photorealistic look that you probably first saw in Mortal Kombat, and then the arcade game Pit Fighter, and I think Killer Instinct was probably next as far as fighters go to use that art style. Maybe there was that one with the creatures. I can't remember the name of that you fought in. Primal Rage. Primal Rage, I think, also used it. But obviously, this uses the characters from the movie instead of the Street Fighter characters that the way they look from the game that we know, the game that we knew before the movie, anyway. So it's really funny because it's so damn stiff. Like, all the moves are the same. Everybody's moves set is the same from Street Fighter 2. Pretty much so. It's just weird because it's so damn stiff. And when they do some of these celebration things, it's obviously not the actor. So they have to do some weird morphing to make it look like, it's, as you can see, it's terrible. But this was cutting edge stuff back in 1995 to see, to be able to control like actors straight out of the movie in a video game, or just, real people, was a pretty new, cool thing back then. But, the game sucked back then, too. It wasn't just a thing because of the time, the era, or whatever. It wasn't that great of a game. So I'm just going to move on here. And here, I'm fighting Vega. I'm going to move past that. Restart it because it won't let you back out. So let's go ahead and look at the character screens. I'm just going to select through all the characters. There's Van Damme, obviously, as Guile. Chun-Li. E Honda, Balrog, his head looks really big there. DJ, Zangief, Ken, and Ryu. Now Ryu, the actor in the movie, his eyes were not that weird looking. I don't know if they did that to make him look more Asian. I feel like they did. There's no reason. You can obviously see that his eyes are altered. If you look at the real, maybe I'll put up a picture of the real actor and put it, I'll do that, and put it next to this guy so you can see how they altered his eyes to make him look more slanted. That's that's flipping weird, man. I don't know what's up with that, but for whatever reasons, that's what they did. So yeah, really weird, very strange. So actually, another weird thing is that Dalsim is not in this game. He was in the movie, very briefly, obviously, but he is not in the game. Let's go ahead and go with Ken. Ken versus Ken. You can't change your color for your uniforms and stuff, your clothes. So what they do instead is give you purple Ken. They slightly alter. It's weird. So yeah, that's obviously me on the left. I'm the Ken on the left. And the game, like I said, especially by today's standards, is pretty ugly. Like I said, back then, I remember the first time I played this was in the arcade. Yes, this was an arcade cabinet. And I was kind of blown away by the look. Because like I said, as a kid, I was a fan of the movie, It was just cool to see Street Fighter's characters in a game, or from the game in a movie, a live action movie. That was pretty rare back then. I think the only movie that did that before was Double Dragon, and that movie was abysmal. So, and you don't have as much attachment to the Double Dragon characters because they're kind of, you have as Billy and Jimmy Lee as their names. You don't really get into the characters. I like the fact that when you do the Hadouken, the flame, the animated from the animated game, the regular Street Fighter 2 games, that whole animation look comes back, and not the photorealistic stuff, because it would have looked really weird if they'd done some like photorealistic fire. That would have looked really bad. So they didn't go with that route. But I'm pretty rusty. I haven't played Street Fighter in a while, and Ken was my guy. Like I said, all the moves and stuff still work for this, just like regular Street Fighter games. So you can pick it up and play. Obviously, it's a little more stiff in animation and movement. That horrible peace sign, and that guy, his face morphs into like, something's wrong with his head and face when he does a smile. Because like I said, when they do all that kind of stuff, the real actors didn't. I'm guessing they didn't capture the actors doing that stuff, so they had to kind of do some weird morphing technique where they look like something out of like, what's that character? Not Chunk. Chunk was the fat kid. Sloth, like Sloth from from the Goonies. Oh yeah, and here's Sawada. I guess Sawada is replacing Dalsim. Sawada is from the movie, and he's replacing Dalsim. Like, I don't believe. I haven't played every Street Fighter game, but I'm pretty sure Sawada is not in any Street Fighter games. You guys can correct me if I'm wrong about that, but I don't remember Sawada in any Street Fighter games. So he's a character from the movie. He's like he's kind of like Guile's underling or right hand man, kind of, not really, next to Cammy. And so he's kind of his right hand guy in the movie anyway. So it's very weird to see him in this game, because he's not, like I said, I don't think he's in any other games. And he's basically replacing Dalsim. And you can say, well, Dalsim wasn't really in the movie until the very end. He became Dalsim. But that's kind of the case for Blanca too. But Blanca's in this game, so he kind of became, he didn't really become Blanca. Look at that combo. Yeah. Finishing on the super move. That was good stuff. Yeah, he wasn't Blanca until like the very end of the movie, so you'll see me fighting him here soon. But yeah, this game is kind of garbage. But you know, it's fun to play bad games too. They have a certain kind of I don't know, it's nostalgia meets. It's kind of like watching a bad movie, a movie that's so bad it's still just fun to watch, like The Room. Speaking of Blanca, he's up next. Wasn't expecting that. Yeah, and like the Blanca in the movie, he had really bad makeup, really bad makeup prosthetics, and a really bad wig, and he was quite terrible. He was real bad. He was really badly done, poorly done. And actually the background here, it's weird because like the backgrounds are video game looking animation style, and obviously the characters aren't. But what makes it weird is that the background in this is only in the movie. This isn't Blanca's background from any of the games, because that machine back there is the machine that turned the regular guy, the soldier Blanca, Carlos Blanca, into the Street Fighter character Blanca. Turn him into the creature. So that's what the machine in the background is back there blinking. That looks like it has a face. That's the eyepiece and mouth that Blanca's looked into and got all that what do you call he got all that programming to make him crazy. What do you call that? Indoctrination kind of stuff that made him a crazy character or a crazy person. And obviously, when you're crazy, you turn green and have have red hair, red looking like Carrot Top. But it's weird because he doesn't really look green. I don't know if the process by which they do the photorealistic animation stuff just maybe didn't allow the color green to show up. And because he's also wearing cargo, not cargo, green, well, I guess they're cargo too, but green army camouflage shorts. Maybe that's why they didn't go with the green color on him. I don't know. I'm sure it was some kind of limitation because video games back in those days couldn't display a whole lot of colors, and I'm sure when they do photorealistic stuff mixed in, it got even harder, trickier. So yeah, moving on here to Chun-Li, and everybody likes Chun-Li, even though the movie, most people don't like. A lot of people don't like the movie. She's very easy on the eyes, whoever the actress is that played her. She was really well cast. Some of the people I thought were well cast. The guy who played Zangief was well cast. Is that it? I thought Vega was pretty well cast, and he looked the part very well. Who else? I don't know if Ken was, or not Ken, Ryu was well cast. You know, but I liked the guy who played him. I didn't think he was terrible. Had way more other issues. And I like the fact that this, unlike a lot of superhero movies today, the Street Fighter movie was not afraid of the source material. You know, everybody wore their uniforms, for the most part. There was some variations with guys like E Honda. Oh yeah, and to mention like the fact that they didn't put Dalsim in this game, but they put DJ in, and DJ was not even really DJ in the movie. He was this kind of little cowardly right-hand man to M. Bison in the movie. He didn't fight. He was too afraid. All he cared about was like getting paid. Oh, the black dude, he wants to get paid. All he cared about was getting paid and getting what he was owed, and being cowardly and trying to get out of, you know, get out of fights and get out of the way. And the dude that they had played him, what's his name? He's the guy that played Joanna Man, and he was also in was it Return of the Living Dead? He was in that. He was kind of a side character in that. But he's a funny dude. I can't remember his name, but I think he's Spanish because he has a Spanish name. His name's like Carlos or something. His last name is Spanish too. I just can't think of it right now. I'll put it up if I can find it. But he's been in like I think him and Eddie Murphy are friends too, because he's been in a lot of Eddie Murphy stuff. And Harlem Nights, he was in Harlem Nights as what's his name? Arsenio Hall. Was he Arsenio Hall's brother, or I can't remember if it was his brother or not. But no, he was his kind of his right hand man in the Harlem Nights. So yeah, Vargas, or I can't remember his name. I'll put it up. But yeah, DJ was terrible. Here we got Balrog doing his thing. He's just as cheap in this Street Fighter, the movie, the game, that he is in Street Fighter 2. So all the little cheap sliding uppercuts and stuff. Yeah, I have to say, even though Acclaim made this is very, for the most part, it feels like Street Fighter 2. So that was pretty, I think it's kind of impressive that they were able to pull it off with this art style and the fact that it wasn't Capcom that developed it. I thought that was pretty interesting. So yeah, as you can see, because of the art style, they're very stiff. And yeah, Ken in the movie is horrible casting. That dude. It was funny because I saw him in another movie where he played like he was half Mexican. It was like it was like a gang movie, a gangster movie, Blood In, Blood Out. He played half Mexican, and have him, whoever this actor is that plays Ken, to see him in that movie and having a horrible, or trying to put on a horrible Mexican accent, you know, from East LA, was pretty hilarious. But I thought it was a good movie though. Blood In, Blood Out. If you haven't seen it and you like, you know, gang movies or stuff like that, from let's say mid-90s. Wasn't long after. Maybe it might have even been before this, before Street Fighter the movie. It's probably around that time. Blood In, Blood Out came out. I think what's the guy who played in La Bamba? He was the main guy. He was the main character. I think he becomes a cop in the movie. Yeah, I'm way off topic. Anyway, here we go with E Honda. And if you've seen the movie, E Honda isn't Japanese. E Honda in the movie is Hawaiian, which is hilarious. So instead of wearing like the normal sumo garb, I forgot what they call the sumo diaper, whatever you call it. In the movie, he basically becomes E Honda when he tears off his Hawaiian shirt. As you can see here, as he's falling, he has on shorts under it. So he's going to fight Zangief in the movie, and they kind of have this. It was pretty cool. I thought it was a cool fight. There's things about the movie I really like. I think it's good. Like I said, it was really good with the source material. Obviously, some miscasting. You could say Guile was miscast, you know, Van Damme, but Van Damme was the guy. He was the action guy, the martial arts movie star back then, and it only made sense for him to be in it. Because if it wasn't for him, you'd have all these unknown actors playing all these different roles. So you kind of needed him to stand out. I mean, obviously, Raul Julia was known, and sadly, this Street Fighter was his last movie. I'm a big fan of Robert Rodriguez, and on one of his commentaries, here's some behind the scenes stuff. Raul Julia was actually supposed to be the bad guy in Desperado, and he was like signed on, ready to go, but he started getting sick right around that time. And so the guy who's the bad guy, who is basically Antonio Banderas' brother, is was right hand, or whatever his name is called in the movie. He was supposed to be Raul Julia's right hand man, and he got elevated to the main bad guy once Raul Julia got sick. So it was sad. Yeah, and here's Vega. Here's one of the guys that I thought was really well cast. So yeah, it's pretty cool. Very well cast. The guy who played Vega, he was perfect. Pretty boy. Vega's Spaniard, right? He's from Spain, and he had the claw. He had everything. He had the uniform. This is what I'm talking about. Superhero movies today, you know. Respect that source material. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and end this thing here. One more thing, Sagat is also as cheap as he is in Street Fighter 2 in this game. So I'll stop the commentary here, and I'll continue to show the fights and cool stuff like that. Show me fighting. But eventually, I think Sagat is where I stop playing, because he's cheap as hell, and he's a little harder to beat in this because of the stiffness. So yeah. All right, fools. I hope you enjoyed this. Yeah. Anyway, let me know if you guys want me to, you know, do more videos like this. I have a ton of old games, as you know, and you know, I don't have a lot of terrible games, so I can still make, you know, videos like this interesting. Obviously, I talked about a lot of other stuff, having to do with the movie as well, which was, you know, which I loved at the time, but you know, it's not great. But, you know, better than Mortal Kombat Annihilation. So, I know that's not saying a whole lot, but still better than most. I think it's still better than most video game to movies. So, yeah, let me know if you want me to keep doing this kind of stuff. I don't know. I was sitting around and looking at the game, and I was like, let me just play this game a little bit. Haven't played it in probably 10 years. So every once in a while I'll go back to old games that I have. That's why I keep them. So yeah, let me know if you like this. Drop a comment, like, subscribe, all that good stuff. And I'll see you fools next time. Peace out.
Round 2, fight! You win! Next fight! Oh yeah! Ken! Round 1, fight! You lose! Round 2, fight! You lose!
Oh yeah, one more thing. Play Nintendo, fools.